jump all around, just talk about
I will.
what he said, the DA, and then what do you call it? And then what's going on with Sullivan.
Okay. And if you'd like to get into any of the email stuff, I can touch on a little bit of what we've started to bring in from Discovery to show the people that not only do we say we're going to get warrants and pull it, we're actually getting the information in right now. And it's proving things.
KPFFLP, Pahrump, Nevada. Statements and opinions made on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its affiliates. Fighting corruption with Anthony Greco. Fighting government corruption, the real gangsters.
That's right.
Greetings from the corrupt criminal government. Yeah, that was real good. Why don't you just stutter right on here? Greetings from the corrupt criminal enterprise we know as Nye County. I am Anthony Greco, and I have my guest Paul again. Paul has more. Welcome. He has some more information. When I do a program, I like to follow everything until there's an ending to it, and this is still wide open, so I want Paul to explain what's new. Oh, and before we get to Paul, I just want to say, and only take a minute, I don't waste his time because what he's got to say is important. But next week, I will be ripping apart the local Republican Party and the local Democrat Party, so stay tuned next week for that. Go ahead, Paul. Do it.
That'll be pretty interesting because we're watching these guys from both sides taking different angles. We were visited by Bernie's party that came out, and there were some Democrats that wanted to talk to us about what had happened at our farm and at our store, and it was pretty interesting. I mean, just seeing what's going on and what direction people are going. And I went last week to the county recorder's office, and when I was there was an ex-commissioner there, and I had made a comment to him. I said, maybe it's time for a matriarch. I'm going through a lot of craziness right now. And that old commissioner, I'm Trump all the way. So anyway, everybody has their own angle, and people are going to be called out to make their decisions soon again. Unfortunately, once we vote, it's not the end of things. I mean, look at the cannabis. Once we voted, we're still going through all of this stuff with it. When we voted on Trump in the beginning, and I voted on Trump in the beginning, I thought he had my back. And then now I'm kind of wondering if I should take off running, Anyway, thank you for having us here, and I wanted to take a second to dedicate today to the Grow Boat farmers, which are all of my children. I've got Messiah and Elijah and Kalia and Maya and Anastasia all out there listening at the park right now and checking out our radio show, and this is for the Grow Boat farmers that are working so hard out there to bring us these crops and to produce the hemp that we grow.
In this heat.
And in this heat, yeah, they only go out for a few minutes at a time, and they recoup with water, but they are still out there weeding and cleaning and consistently taking care of this hemp that we're growing. So cool. It's pretty interesting, yeah. And they're listening by today. So thank you, farmers, for all your hard work.
That's good.
So quick update though on the case is, I got a call in from an associate of mine that was doing some calling around to find out where the district attorneys were at, or the district attorney was at with my charges and with prosecution. At this point, they were told that there was no charges, so I called myself down to the district attorney's office, and I spoke with his secretary that was there at the time. She said, I only find one valid case for you in the computer, and the district attorney is denying the case. So
what you're trying to say is, so the sheriff's department arrested you on a bunch of charges.
Yes.
And in the DA's office, you only could see one, and he's not doing anything with it so far.
At that point, he was not. Now I believe that it's went back to Gus Sullivan, and he will be looking over the case and deciding if he's going to send it back to the DA and rewrite the case, or if he's going to be trying to maybe press additional charges. Yeah, you'd think that the prosecution has been enough up to this point with my property that had been taken, the illegal search and seizure. You know, I don't believe that they should have detained me either. And when they come to your establishment, shouldn't they have the warrant before they arrive, rather than telling you where to go, grabbing your hand to detain you, and then handing you the warrant into your other hand? To me, it seems a little bit fishy. So,
well, let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
The whole idea behind grabbing your hand is this: if you flinch and pull back,
then they can say obstructing.
Bingo.
Right.
That's what they do. I've seen them do it in the courthouse.
Yeah.
In guys locked up, and I seen them do it. So, you know, listen, I'm no Rhodes Scholar, and I have enough of problems with the English language myself. But most of the deputies here couldn't put two sentences together. So now they got to give it to a judge so he can figure out what they should have wrote.
Right. Hopefully the next generations learn from them and step up their education a little bit, and
that would be nice.
Tighten things up. You know, I brought this warrant in for you to see yourself, though. You'll see how it noticed that it said marijuana items. There's nothing here saying hemp plants. There's nothing here saying
marijuana plants. Yeah.
Right. And cell phones is spelt what?
Like you're selling something, not with a C.
Right. Okay. So technically, in my opinion, if we're selling tablets and phones at our store, you were okay to take all of the cell phones, SELL, but you were not authorized to take my cell phone.
What's the sense to that? What was the idea of getting your cell phone?
I think that they thought that there was this big conspiracy going on and this operation that is all just made up in their minds.
Wait a second. Is all your stuff being grown under a roof or something?
No, I have an outdoor grow.
Okay, so what are you hiding?
I don't know.
I mean,
everything has lab samples. You know, we went ahead and we did a discovery, and we pulled some information from Arnold Knightley, the Freedom of Information's officer. Mm-hmm. And when we looked at those emails, they were really interesting, by the way. I mean, when you're trying to prove a case and you have to go in and decide if it's innocent, if it's negligent, or if it's fraudulent misrepresentation. The case is kind of clear cut and dry, in my opinion, once you look into those emails. Because if I told you, hey, this guy has a license, and then you continued on trying to cause harm, and this continuance was 30 or 20 or 15 times over after you knew better, now not only are you showing that you actually have a malice, a hard
because the way
a hardship for this other person that's on the other side to deal with, then it's a problem. You know, we're not supposed to be going around causing hard times for other people. We're supposed to be just moving in our own pace, and like the pastor just said, they had left, you know, walking in the footsteps. And so
you're paying government agencies to be licensed. I see this paperwork from the Department of Agriculture.
Well, they said one of their complaints was that I used the word cannabis on my building. What is on the license given to our company? What do they define my product as?
It says cannabis.
Correct.
So why?
They changed the assembly. They changed that in Assembly Bill 533. But when they changed it, it doesn't take place until November. So now that they changed it, these officers thought, well, maybe that's enough wiggle room to create speculation and doubt, and I can call telephonically and get a warrant from the judge. And see, that's another issue here, because it says that if they were coming to arrest me, this would have had to have been an arrest warrant, not a search warrant. Number one. Number two.
Now, who crossed this out?
The deputies, that's how they strike something. And I guess they didn't go to contract law class where you put one line through it and initial.
You put one line
and you initial it, correct.
So they could still read it, but it's initialed that's no good.
Correct, and that's the wrong address. That's not our address. Everything is 8889 at our store at Guadalupe's Energy, Fuel, and Farms.
You don't have to give the numbers because it'll just confuse people.
Right.
But you're telling me that your business licenses, the warrant was for not where your business license is.
Right, not the name of the business. This isn't the name of the business.
Okay.
This was just a sticker outside that said we support Grow Abode Cannabis. But they tried to make it look like that was the name so they could get the warrant, like we were operating this kind of place illegally. And then the worst part of the deal here is when it says endorsed by, and it's a judge.
Yes, the same person who wrote this wrote that,
Right.
and it's not a signature; it's a name.
Right.
It's Sullivan.
Right.
All right.
Right.
We got a phone call. You want to take a call?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Go ahead, Paula.
Maybe it's our district attorney.
Hi. Hi, it's Amy.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Amy, how have you been?
Okay.
Wait, she can't hear when you talk.
Sorry.
Go ahead, do that again.
There's a couple of things that I came to mind when you were talking. Number one, they just had a legislature that changed the word for hemp and marijuana under one umbrella, and the word is cannabis.
That is correct. On Assembly Bill 533.
Is the cell phone.
Yes.
I was on a jury where a cell phone was used because they have access to everything on your cell phone from your cell phone provider.
Yes.
So they might be looking for something to go along with whatever charges, for drugs or whatever they thought that they were going to find.
Uh-huh.
And they'll use the people in, the investigators in Vegas to do that.
Uh-huh.
If they want to. I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying they have the ability to do it.
Yes. Good.
Well, what they do is they can actually track everybody he called. So they're going to try to figure out who everybody he called to see if he's dealing with
They not
drug
only
dealers.
can track everybody he calls, they can track every text message. They can read them.
Right. You know, the point that I was trying to make, though, Amy, was that it would be nice if they would return it to me because I operate transparently. And if they were to just ask me for the devices, pictures, the call logs, the messaging, the emailing, I mean, I could give them more passwords to look through what we're doing than what they could dig up off each individual warrant that they went out and tried to impose on us. So we're not trying to hold back any of the information. We voluntarily want to give it to them. We just need the device back to run our business with.
And I'm not really sure that they actually need your phone to do that.
I don't think they
All
do.
the information they need.
Right. And it was taken illegally because it's not a cell SELL phone. It's a cell CELL phone.
Well, that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there. The whole point there is that they're just trying to hurt your business.
Right. But
I
when you
saw
write
some
it
of
on
the
when you
emails.
write it on the document, then that's the document that was served.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that in my opinion.
See, the way I look at it is,
Sullivan, I don't know why this went back to Sullivan because he's no longer justice of the peace now.
yes, he is, because
Justice of the peace in Vegas.
and
Well,
he's
Beatty
in
is-
Amargosa. Amargosa is part of Beatty.
Is part of Beatty's jurisdiction for now because Amargosa doesn't have its own justice court at this point.
Well, why would they do that? Why would they keep it in the county?
He is in the county.
I see.
Yeah, Pahrump. Remember when Louis
Not real.
DeCanio was?
I'm amazed that if Chris Arabia, DA, had found there were no grounds to charges, that he even got this back around a bit.
You know,
That's what they do here.
do you like fishing?
Right?
Do you ever go fishing?
You know, from what I know of Chris Arabia, he doesn't do things.
No, Chris does not. However, I believe that some of the other individuals that are around are, and maybe this is bringing light to where some of our issues are coming from for at least Amargosa and Pahrump.
See, I tell you
If it was
truthfully,
me, I would call him up or go down to see him and find out how is this done.
I have.
Is it just being done right?
Yeah, I had asked them, and they said that I just have to wait, and they will notify me and let me know.
see, I tell you, I think Chris is doing a good job because
I think so too.
that I guarantee you the last two DAs would have kept this case just moving and moving and moving. They brought cases on people that were useless, and look at my case, 5.5 years.
I know.
Well, I mean,
I think when the last time I spoke to Chris about what he was doing in the office, it was pretty much what he said at the Nye County Central Committee, Republican Central Committee, was that he is weeding through and making sure frivolous charges don't take up all their time. He's throwing those back. But there's other charges that he's looking at that haven't been brought forward, that he's bringing forward,
Right.
that do have ground.
Right.
So he's due diligent with all of this going on, and I'd be interested with me to find out what is going on with this, and is this kosher?
I agree.
Now we were talking before we went on the air, and his business is crushed.
Yeah.
I mean, he's running at almost no profit now, where he was making a good profit on a daily basis. He's running at almost cost right now.
Yeah.
Because people are afraid to go in the store.
That was the whole motive, in my opinion.
What's that?
From the way it happened to what happened since then, that was the whole motive.
Yeah, of course. Of course it was. Good.
It's a shame.
It is.
I think he has the support of a lot of people here, and people that weren't even pro-hemp or pro-marijuana are going to be pro-hemp and pro-marijuana now.
Right.
Thank you, Amy.
Okay.
I mean, the competition, you might put some word out about your prices, about the product. I mean, we can, people will spread that word of mouth. You know how fast it goes.
Right.
You can post things for you.
Right.
And
Yep.
be on Facebook. I'm not a Facebook.
Yeah, you're on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I'm on Grow Abode is on Facebook. It's under NSR for the abbreviations for Nevada Southern Realty. If you do go on NSR, I'd love to friend you and send you some more information too about our store and what we've been working on.
Oh, great. That's
we've
good.
got-
I'll definitely share it.
Yeah, we've got a
I'll
high.
get on there. I'm going to meet some friends that I wasn't expecting in a few minutes, but as soon as I get back, I'll go on there and do that.
Please do, Amy. We'd love to have you there. And our main business is real estate. And as a general real estate realtor, anything else you need or anybody else that may need something, just let me know on that Facebook, and I'd be happy to help you out.
Well, I can let you know something that I was told the other day by a very sound person. I won't give his name.
Yeah,
But there seems to be a land grab up in Beatty.
yeah.
There's a lot of things happening up there. They just got hundreds of thousands of dollars for their airport, plus more county money.
Yeah,
They're just dumping all kinds of money into Beatty.
They've also got some type of a power program thing over there that's supposed to be able to push power for almost 40,000 residents, as I understand. So I don't know if it's.
Charging station.
Yeah, it may be coming Amargosa's direction. It may be coming Beatty. It may be going a little bit both out there.
Yeah, between Beatty and Goldfield.
Yeah, and
All
Gold.
right.
Thanks. Thanks for the call.
Okay. I'll
Bye-bye.
see you later.
Take it easy, Amy.
Okay, so what do we got here?
So this was the other charge that they gave me. They claimed that I gave them improper information.
So this is a certificate of inspection.
Yeah.
This pink paper.
This is the actual inspection that they gave me a charge for and said that I did not have this inspection that day.
Who said you didn't have the inspection? The sheriff's department?
The Sergeant George Worley,
Okay.
who
And
arrested
he said
me.
you didn't have this here?
He said that I did not have that inspection done. And so did the detectives as well, that I did not have
This
that
inspection was done when?
on the 24th, on the morning of the 24th.
Okay, and when did they come in?
And they came in here they got the warrant at 14:45 hours, but
Yeah, but this is the 27th. You had it 4 days
no,
before
this
that.
is the 24th. That's the detective's writing.
a 4?
Yeah, that's his writing.
Okay.
Well, I learned a long time ago those guys that chicken scratch just aren't that good of spellers.
Yeah, right.
So they do that to kind of cover it up.
So who's Robert Kennedy?
That's the inspector that came out from the Department of Agriculture. He's
Okay.
one of the meters and measures guys, but he was also with an actual officer from the Department of Agriculture that's the one that looked at our licenses that day.
Okay, so you got a certificate that everything is good a couple of hours before they showed up.
I got a certificate that one issue was on my fuel meter However, everything else was good with my licenses for my establishment.
Right.
And then these guys showed up,
Okay.
and they didn't provide this warrant for almost 45 minutes from when they first arrived.
What's his? It's signed by Deputy who? What's that guy's name?
I can't even
Is
read
that
his.
Schmidt?
I don't know. I can't even read his writing.
I can't even read his writing, and he didn't even sign it.
No, but he signed the judge's name. Isn't that a felony?
He didn't even sign the judge's name. He turned around and printed the guy's last name. He didn't even.
Right, but even when you do that, you're supposed to sign it for. He signs his own signature for,
Right.
and then put Sullivan next
Right.
to it.
Well-
That's the proper way to do a contract.
Not trained properly.
Right.
That's your biggest problem with the department. They're not trained properly. Because if you would have showed them this,
Yeah.
none of this would have
We
happened.
did. No, we took this out and set it on the counter and showed them along with that producer certificate license and along with the Department of Ag license. They said, "We don't care.
What do you mean they said they?
We don't care." They did not care about any of this I said. They still said that that's what I did in my face, even though I showed them these documents.
And this certificate was good as of.
No, this is last year. This is the first one. The newest,
Okay.
I can show you the newest one.
Okay, so you've been licensed since May 10th of
Oh.
2018.
Well, this was last year's first, this was the first license for industrial hemp. This is when we were actually part of the program for the higher level of education, and we were there giving reports to the Department of Agriculture as the first farmers trying to do this. This was the original certificate that they gave us for industrial hemp farming.
See, I remember hemp when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That my father used to have hemp rope.
Right.
Ropes made of hemp now.
And keychains and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff, and you could braid them. Yeah.
So, and that rope was strong because it was braided rope. And I think actually the Navy used that heavy
Yes,
rope
that's
to hold the
exactly
ships
right.
down.
That's exactly correct.
And this one is what?
And this is the actual certificate, the hemp certificate.
And that don't expire until March 31st, 2020. I
Right.
think you're covered.
Right, but now what they're trying to say is that possibly the Department of Agriculture will pull this license from me, not allow me to produce hemp, because they cannot prove whether the plants that the detectives pulled were marijuana or hemp. But the problem they're going to have is that the detectives only had 12 plants there. So I have a motorhome out back. I have tenants that stay in that motorhome. That is a residential/commercial property. It's what we call mixed use, which is part of the conforming use to the area plan there
Yeah, I
for
understand. It's
Amargosa
orange
Valley.
on a map.
Yeah.
Mixed-use commercial is
and it starts to, and if you look at the future plans for it, it's supposed to be a community area over there. So now what we've done is we've made little campground areas behind the store. We've got that one motorhome where a couple folks live there. So my question is this: do I no longer have the same right that everybody else has to grow 6 plants per person for my 2 tenants that are
Well,
there?
it used to be 12. I think they cut it to 8.
Okay, but even if it was 6 per person, which is even less than that, the residential structure I have there is allowed to have at least 12 plants. Now, when these detectives left, they took and wrote on the paper here that they took 17 plants.